In the past few hours, the body of the late Pope Francis has been moved from the chapel at his residence in Casa Santa Marta, where he chose to live, to St. Peter's Basilica, where it will remain lying in state until the funeral on Saturday. The Pope died on Easter Monday at the age of 88. The church bells tolled as the procession of cardinals and priests accompanied the open coffin short distance from the chapel through the city-state. Mourners who have been queuing since the early hours of the morning to pay their respects applauded as the procession made its way through St. Peter's Square. These are the live pictures of St. Peter's Square where you can see crowds, or this is still inside, queuing to pay their final respects to the late pontiff. The body of Pope Francis will remain there until the funeral on Saturday, which will be attended by leaders from around the world. I speak to my colleague, former Rome correspondent Mark Lowen. Mark, just talk us through what's been happening there.
Hi Lewis, yes, well it's been a busy morning here on St. Peter's Square, as you can imagine, with thousands of people crowding onto the square, watching that service that was on big screens behind me as the coffin of Pope Francis was taken from the residence where he lived during his 12 years as Pope, the Santa Marta residence inside the Vatican, and it was taken to St. Peter's Basilica, where it now lies before the altar of the confession, an altar beneath which it is believed that the tomb of St. Peter lies. Of course, remember, popes are thought to be, by the faithful, successors to St. Peter. It is an altar that is covered by a bronze baldachin, which was designed and created by the Baroque 16th century artist Bernini, and then that lies below the fantastic gilded dome of St. Peter's Basilica, which is from Michelangelo. And then that basilica will be open until midnight today and tomorrow for the faithful to file in to try to catch a glimpse of Pope Francis, who lies in that open coffin. He's been temporarily embalmed. He is wearing a mitre, his red vestments, he's holding rosary beads. And then on Friday, the Basilica will close at 7 p.m, ready for that funeral to start on Saturday morning, a funeral that will attract world leaders, royalty and heads of state from around the world. And then following the funeral, the coffin will be taken across Rome to the Basilica of Santa Maria Maggiore, which is where Pope Francis wants to be buried. It's more than a century since a pope was not buried at the Vatican, and very much symbolic of how Francis wanted a humbler, simpler end to his life.